Oakwood's Dark Secrets, written by Ethan Blackwood and narrated by Sebastian Wolf. Laura had always been fascinated by the power of books. Their ability to transport her to new worlds, introduce her to different cultures, and teach her valuable life lessons had been a constant source of comfort and joy. So when she landed a job as a librarian at the historic Oakwood Library, she couldn't have been more thrilled. As she walked through the towering shelves on her first day, she couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. Oakwood Library was known for its vast collection of books and manuscripts, some of which dated back centuries. There was a certain magic in the air, and Laura was eager to become a part of it. During her lunch break, she overheard some of her new colleagues whispering about a hidden room within the library. Intrigued, she listened carefully as they spoke of strange books and unexplained occurrences. A spark of curiosity ignited within her, and she decided to investigate further. Over the next few days, Laura discreetly questioned her co-workers about the hidden room. Most were hesitant to share any information, but she eventually pieced together a rough idea of its location. Late one evening, after the library had closed, she ventured into the dimly lit labyrinthine passages in search of the mysterious chamber. After what felt like hours of searching, she discovered a narrow, dusty hallway hidden behind a sliding bookshelf. Her heart pounding with excitement, Laura followed the passage until she arrived at a heavy, iron-bound door. With bated breath, she unlocked it and stepped inside the secret room. The chamber was filled with shelves upon shelves of ancient books, their pages yellowed and brittle with age. The air was thick with the scent of old parchment and a palpable sense of mystery. Laura felt a shiver run down her spine as she wondered what secrets these books might hold, and what their connection was to the strange events she'd heard whispers of. Little did she know that her curiosity would soon lead her down a path of danger and dark forces beyond her wildest imagination. As Laura explored the hidden room, she felt drawn to a particular book, bound in tattered leather with an eerie, unfamiliar symbol embossed on the cover. She carefully removed it from the shelf and opened it, revealing pages filled with cryptic text and intricate diagrams. Laura couldn't help but feel a strange connection to the book, as if it was calling out to her. Over the following weeks, Laura dedicated her evenings to deciphering the mysterious tome. The more she read, the more she felt a growing sense of unease. The book seemed to contain information on dark rituals and ancient entities, subjects that both intrigued and frightened her. One night, she stumbled upon a passage that seemed to describe a ritual for summoning one of these ancient beings. Without fully understanding the implications, she felt compelled to recite the incantation written on the page. As she finished the final word, the room began to tremble, and a chill wind swept through the hidden chamber. Laura knew immediately that she had made a grave mistake. She had unwittingly unleashed a dark power, an ancient entity that had been dormant for centuries. The book slipped from her trembling hands, and she realized she needed to find a way to undo what she had done. In the days that followed, the library became a place of strange occurrences. Books flew off shelves, doors slammed shut without warning, and eerie whispers echoed through the halls. The once peaceful sanctuary had become a place of terror, and Laura knew she was responsible. Determined to set things right, Laura sought out the few people in town who might know more about the ancient entity and how to banish it. One of them was an elderly, reclusive woman named Agnes, who was rumored to have knowledge of the supernatural. Hesitant but desperate, Laura approached Agnes, hoping she could help her undo the damage she had caused. Agnes lived in a small, weathered house at the edge of town, surrounded by overgrown plants and an air of secrecy. As Laura knocked on the door, she felt a sense of dread. But she knew she had no choice if she wanted to put an end to the chaos she had unleashed. To Laura's surprise, Agnes seemed to have been expecting her. With a solemn nod, she invited Laura inside and offered her a cup of tea. As they sat in the dimly lit living room, Laura hesitantly told her story, her voice shaking with fear and guilt. Agnes listened intently, her eyes narrowing as she took in every word. When Laura had finished, the old woman sighed deeply, as if she had been expecting this day to come. She explained that the ancient entity Laura had summoned was a powerful and malevolent force, one that had been bound within the book for centuries to protect the world from its dark influence. To banish the entity, Agnes told Laura, they would need to perform a complex ritual that would require them to gather several rare and powerful ingredients, some of which could only be found in the most dangerous corners of the world. The task would be perilous, but it was the only way to set things right. With a heavy heart, Laura agreed to undertake the dangerous quest. She knew that she alone was responsible for the havoc she had caused, and it was her duty to set things right. Over the next several days, Agnes trained Laura in the skills she would need to survive her journey, teaching her ancient spells and techniques that had been passed down through generations. As Laura prepared to leave on her quest, Agnes handed her a small, worn journal containing detailed instructions for the ritual and a list of the ingredients they would need. With a final, determined glance, Laura set off on her journey, knowing that she alone held the power to save the library, and perhaps even the world, from the ancient entity's wrath. Laura's journey took her to the farthest reaches of the world, through treacherous landscapes and forgotten realms. Each step of the way, she faced seemingly insurmountable obstacles and confronted creatures of myth and legend. In the dense jungles of South America, she battled a fearsome serpent-like creature to obtain a rare and potent venom. In the frozen wastes of Siberia, she braved a blizzard and fought off ice wraiths to retrieve a shard of a mystical crystal. And in the depths of the Sahara, she unearthed a hidden tomb where she faced a guardian spirit to claim a handful of ancient sand. Despite the challenges she faced, Laura's determination never wavered. She knew that with each ingredient she gathered, she was one step closer to righting the wrong she had committed and banishing the ancient entity. Throughout her journey, Laura found herself growing stronger, more resourceful, and more attuned to the supernatural forces that surrounded her. She began to understand the true power of the knowledge Agnes had imparted to her, and how it could be used to protect the world from the forces of darkness. As the months passed, and Laura collected the final ingredient, she knew that the time had come to return to Oakwood Library and face the ancient entity. With a mixture of fear and resolve, she made her way back to the small town, her heart heavy with the weight of the task that lay before her. Upon her return, Laura found that the library's condition had worsened. The malevolent energy of the ancient entity had seeped into every corner, and the once vibrant institution now stood as a dark and oppressive shadow of its former self. With no time to waste, Laura and Agnes began preparations for the ritual. They carefully arranged the ingredients in the hidden chamber, reciting ancient incantations and setting up protective wards to contain the powerful energies they were about to unleash. As the ritual began, the air crackled with an otherworldly energy, and the very fabric of reality seemed to twist and warp around them. Laura felt the power of the ancient spells surging through her veins, filling her with a sense of purpose and determination she had never known before. As they reached the climax of the ritual, Laura and Agnes channeled their combined power into a final, desperate incantation. The room shook violently, and the ancient entity appeared before them, its twisted form a manifestation of pure darkness and malice. The battle that ensued was fierce and terrifying, as Laura and Agnes fought to contain the entity's power and force it back into its eternal prison. They called upon every ounce of their strength, every spell and incantation they knew, and in the end, their determination and courage proved to be stronger than the ancient evil. With a final, triumphant cry, Laura and Agnes completed the ritual, banishing the entity and sealing it within the ancient tome once more. The darkness that had enveloped the library lifted, and a sense of peace and tranquility returned to the hallowed halls. In the aftermath, Laura knew that she had grown and changed in ways she could never have imagined. She had faced her fears and atoned for her mistakes, and in the process she had become a guardian of the world's hidden knowledge, a protector against the forces of darkness that lurked in the shadows. As she returned to her duties as a librarian, Laura could not help but feel a newfound sense of purpose. She knew that the world was full of mysteries and dangers, and that she, along with her mentor Agnes, would stand as a bulwark against the darkness, ensuring that the power of knowledge would continue to shine as a beacon of hope in the darkest of times.